Good evening, folks, and welcome to my channel. I thought I'd like to share some books today of something that I'm quite interested in. And one of my favorite books is the Joel Whitburn Billboard books. For those who may not be too familiar with Joel Whitburn is actually an author, and he is responsible for some of the books that are based on the Billboard charts. He's actually got a company in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin called Record Research. And he's been doing this since he was 10 years old. It's a very long story. But for those who are a chart fanatic like I am, he has some very interesting books. And I've got most of them, and I'd like to share them with you today. So the first book that I want to share with you is this book right here. This is the Joel Whitburn Top Pop Singles book. It's from 1955 to 2018. And it lists all of the singles that charted on the Hot 100 from 1955, from when rock and roll began, all the way to the year 2018. And it's a very interesting book. It's got a lot of interesting statistics like stats. It got biographies of all the artists and all the bands. And it's a very interesting book. My next book is this book right here. This is called the Joel Whitburn Top Country Singles book. These are all of the country singles that charted on the Billboard Country chart from 1944 to 2017. And you'll find artists in here such as greats from Garth Brooks to Johnny Cash to Conway Twitty, Alan Jackson, to name a few, even Dolly Parton. It's a very interesting book to have. And so for those of you who are a fanatic of the charts and they like to keep up with, as you can see here, some pictures of Toby Keith, there's Waylon Jennings, George Jones, Reba McEntire, Charlie Pride. There's Buck Owens over there, if you can see it. There's Ray Price. There's Ernest Tubb and Hank Williams Jr., among many others. And there you can see Blake Shelton over there. It's a very interesting book. It lists, kind of gives you, I can give you just like a little, here's just Eddie Arnold. This is just like, if you can see what it is, it gives you all of the songs that Eddie Arnold charted, and it gives you the chart statistics, and it gives you biographies of all of the artists. So this is a good resource to have. My next book this is called the Billboard Hot 100 charts. This is actually from the 70s. This gives you every Hot 100 chart from 1970 all the way through 1979. And it gives you all of the debuts. It gives you each individual charts. It kind of looks like this. It goes week by week, and it gives you all the songs that debuted each week. It takes you all the way through the 70s. So this is another great book to have. It's Chart Your Way Through the 70s. It's a handy week by week guide through the charted pop music of the 70s from 1970. So there's also other volumes, which I have. I have some I have one from the 1950s, the 1960s, also the 80s and the 90s as well. I don't have anything from the year 2000. The next book I have right here is this book. Cashbox was another trade publication similar to Billboard. In here, this is called the Cashbox Pop 100. What you'll find in here is there's a lot of artists in here that also charted, but they didn't necessarily chart in Billboard magazine. Some of them just basically charted in probably Cashbox magazine. So you'll find some gems in here that you might be able to find. So best thing is, go through your 45 collection. Maybe you have some of these songs, and maybe it'd be interesting to share. So as you can see on here, there's some of the other stuff that he has. It's Record Research on top. So this is also a very good book. And if you like Joel Whitburn books like I do, you'll enjoy this. So this is basically for the Cashbox trade publication. It's got all of the stuff in here, and this goes from 1957, from when Cashbox started, all the way to 1996. So this is another great resource. This is another pop annual book. This is from 2016. So this is another book that's charts, goes all the way. It gives you like a listing of each song of every position that charted from 1955 to 2016. So let me give you like an example right here. So here's like 1957. You can see this here. It's just, those are all the songs that were number one, all the songs that were number 2, 3, and 4, and so on. So this is another great resource. So if you want, if you're a fan of the charts, you might enjoy this. All right, let me see what else. Here's another chart book. This is called Bubbling Under the Hot 100. These are all of the songs that charted on the Bubbling Under chart from 1959 to 2004. So these are like all the songs that with Bubbling Under chart was some of the songs that were between 100 to 130. So as you can see, this is another great resource called Billboard Bubbling Under charts, 1959 to 2004. All right. Okay, here's another interesting book. This is called The Hot Dance Disco. So for those who like disco music started in the mid-1970s, and then when disco faded, it evolved into something else, dance pop or techno or house music. So this is another great resource. These are all of the songs that chart on the Billboard Hot Dance Disco chart from 1974 to 2003. And I have a great collection. As you see, people like Donna Summer is in here. What else do we have? MC Hammer. You get all these are all the original 12-inch mixes of songs that were popular on the charts. So for those who like dance, disco, or these are just basically music that was played in discos and dance clubs all throughout the United States. So if you like dance music or disco music, this is a book you might want to pick up. It's absolutely fantastic. Here's another book. This is called the Joel Whitburn's Country Annual, and it's similar to the Pop Annual. This one's a much older book, and this one lists this for all this is pictures. See pictures in here. This is pictures of Roy Rogers and Gene Autry. Okay, you go through all this. This gives you this is like 1944. This gives you all of the country songs that charted from the 1944 to 1997. It lists from 1 to whatever, and it gives you a listing of the songs, and it actually gives you values of the singles. So if you have any of these songs in your collection, you might want to pick up this book, and it'll tell you how much your 45s are worth. So that's a good book to have. Our next book we have here, this is called the Top R&B Hip Hop Singles Book. This is a little older here, but I've had this for a while. These are all the songs that charted on the Billboard R&B singles chart. You'll see artists such as Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye is even in here. Bobby Brown, Jermaine Jackson, Deborah Cox, some other stuff that you might find here. There's what you find here is early hits by Fats Domino and Benny King. So this is a very good resource as well. So as you can see on the back here, this is another chart. So as you can see, there's Michael Jackson, Guitar Slim, Bill Doggett. So for those of you who like soul or blue-eyed soul, this is a book. This is a very interesting book. It's one book right there. My next book right here, this is called the Joel Whitburn. This is called the Joel Whitburn Pop Memories Chart. It's just the history of American popular music. This is all the popular music from 1890 to 1954. So this was partly from the early of the Roaring 20s, the big band era. Here's an interesting. Take a look at this. This is Doris Day. So for those who are into like Glenn Miller, I don't know, Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, people from the big band era. If you like Glenn Miller, Doris Day, Patti Page, all of this is a very good book to pick up. So it lists, there's Al Jolson is even in here, the great Caruso, all interesting book. This gives you all chart facts, and it's got Percy Faith is in here. So this is a very interesting book. My next, here's another book. This is called the Joel Whitburn's Hit Records. This is a completely different chart. Music Vendor and Record World. These are some other songs that charted on Record World and Music Vendor were two different trade publications. Music Vendor was probably around for a little while, and then it became Record World, and it lasted until 1982. These are all some of the other songs that charted on this. Here it goes from, you get songs in here from 101 to 150. So you might find some rare gems in here that you probably, or songs that you couldn't find on Billboard or Cashbox. So this is another great resource to have if you're into the charts like I am. All right. The next book we have, this is called the Joel Whitburn's Hit Records Collection. This is another book. These are songs, this Music Vendor and Record World, but this is just country only. You'll find stuff in here from pieces like Patty Page. There's stuff from Patty Page. There's Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash, Oak Ridge Boys, Ernest Tubb. Some of these country songs are songs that didn't chart in the country chart, but there's some rare gems in here. So you see some on the back of the artist. Here's Waylon Jennings, as Kitty Wells is in here, Bill Anderson, Eddie Arnold, Ronnie Millsap, Ray Price, Conway Twitty, Hank Snow is even in here. So this is an interesting book to pick up if you like. So this is just my review of this chart. It's right here. This is an updated version of the Pop Memories chart. So this is a brand new book. This again is probably just an update. It's just the history of American popular music from 1900 to 1940. So this is the same as the other book that I just showed you, but it's a very good book as well. The next book I have here, this is called the Cashbox Looking Ahead Chart. This is still a different publication. These are all of the songs that chart on the Cashbox chart, but were below the Hot 100, and it went to 101 to 150. And this lasted from 1959 to 1993. So you're going to find some rare gems in here. So this is it would take me a while to go through this book, but I would suggest you just pick it up as if you like charts like I do, and you'll have artists like this. So this is just you got Roy Clark in here. There's stuff from so this is kind of what it looks like, and just give you. So this is one of the Joel Whitburn books. All right. I have one more book to show you. It wasn't written by Joel Whitburn, but if you're one of those who like contemporary Christian music, look what I have here. This is called CCM. This is called Hot Hits. These are all of the songs that charted on the Christian adult contemporary chart from 1978 to 2001. And in here, you're going to find Christian artists such as Kirk Franklin, Amy Grant, Third Day, Jars of Clay. So if you're really into like contemporary Christian music, so we also have that as well. We got Ragamuffin Band, Resurrection. Let's see, what else do we have in here? We got Larnell Harris is in here. We got Michael W. Smith, Billy Sprague, Sonic Flood. John Tesh is in here, some stuff from B.J. Thomas. And it's a very interesting book. It's very rare. You might have to pick it up on eBay, but it's not part of Joel Whitburn's collection. But it's still a great collection to have if you're into charts and you will enjoy a different format of music. So there you have it, folks. Those are my Joel Whitburn books, at least some of them, and I have more that I'd like to share. But that's just a small portion of what I have. But for those who are looking to look for those books, you can either get them on Amazon or eBay, or go to Record Research and you can get in touch with Paul Haney down at Record Research. I spoke to him a couple of times. He's a real nice guy. They'll be more than happy to help you with your questions. If you're a music collector like I am, if you have a lot of music, as you can see over here, you see my CDs in the back, and I have a large amount of CDs. On one side, I have pop music, I have country on another side, and I have easy listening. I have lots of CDs. I have a stereo in the back, and in another room I have some classic 45s. So if you like to collect music, if you enjoy charts, if you enjoy chart books, those are some of the books you might want to check out. So this is Steve again from Chicago, and I will talk to you again very soon. So goodbye.